Hello everyone, welcome to our programming lectures. So in this video we are going to discuss about the data types available in R programming. Let us understand what is meant by data type. So you take any programming languages. So we have the fundamental concepts of data types. Data type means representing the type of data or specifying the kind of data. Okay. Normally why do we use the data types is for effective memory consumption. Means for example different data types can store different amount of data into it, and also for a precise computation. So for performing different type of computations we have to use this particular data types, and we have to choose the right data type. For example, you are giving the character type of data or string type of data or numerical values or decimal values that we are giving, and also complex values. It is useful for statistics. Okay. So normally every data type in the R programming is have one set of regulations, and it is having some restrictions. And one more important point is that here no need to declare the variable with the help of data type like C and Java programming. So in C and C++ and Java programming we have to declare a variable with the help of data type. But here we don't use any data type to declare a variable, and it is a dynamically typed programming language, same like Python. So this is about the data types. So here let's see the different data types that are supporting in our programming. So the first one is the numeric data types. So here right side I have given some examples of numeric data types. You see the first one is 3, it is an integer value. Second one is 6.7, it is a decimal value, which means that the float value. So float value is also considering as a numeric data type. And 121, it is an integer value. Means the numeric data type is a combination of integer values and float values. And the second one is integer. So integer data type, and it is a separated data type. So here integer data type has to be represented with the help of L, means the number followed by capital L. L declares that it is representing that it is an integer. Suppose 2L, 42L, which means that it is an integer value. Also you can represent an integer value by using the as.integer. As.integer function I will show you. The next one is the logical data types, means the boolean values true or false has to be considered as a logical data types here. And the next one is the complex type of data types, same like Python programming. Here the R programming is also supporting the complex data types. And here the real, there it is having two parts, one is real part and another one is imaginary part. So 7 plus 5i, 7 is a real part and 5 is an imaginary part. So normally these complex data types which helpful to implement the different algorithms of machine learning and data science algorithms. And the next data type is the fundamental data type, that is character. So normally in C programming, one alphabetical letter has to be represented as a character and more than one has to be considered as a string. But here both are same. Either you can represent with a single character or more than one character, it is representing as a character data type only. And one more important point is the character data type has to be enclosed with either single quote or double quote, same like Python. And the last one is the raw data type. Actually it creates a raw vector of the specified length. So when you want to do the low level operations, which means that the byte level operations, so then we have to use the raw data type. So these are the different data types of our program. So let's getting into each one. The first one is the numeric data types. So let me show you directly the numeric data types. For example, I am creating the variable x. Suppose I am giving the value 12. Suppose I am giving the value 12. Let's see the class of x. By using the class function, we can find out What type of data type it is? The class of X. See, right side, it is a numeric type of data type. Let's find out the type of X. The type of X. See, it is a double value. So normally it will take the length of double value. Even it is an integer value, it has to be considered as a double value in the R programming. Means here 12 means 12.00. It is a class of X and type of X. And one more thing, we can check whether the value is an integer value or not by using the is.integer function. Is.integer X. We have to check whether X is an integer value or not. Let's see. No, it is an integer value. It is not an integer value. It is a numerical value. So numeric value is different here and integer value is different. For example, what I do is, here I give 12.5. X value is 12.5. Let's execute this and check the class of X. Same, it is a numeric value. And check the type of X. It is a double value. And check whether it is an integer. No, it is not an integer. So these are the numerical values, numeric data types. The next one is the integer data types, the second one. So we can create an integer data type by using two ways. One is representing the L after a number. After a number, you have to give the L notation as a suffix. So to represent an integer data type. Also, you can use as.integer function, not is.integer function. Is.integer function checks whether the value is an integer or not. But as.integer function, which is used to create an integer value. So let's see, for example, X, otherwise Y, I am taking Y, as.integer function. Suppose here I am giving, for example, 15. X as.integer 15. So check the class of Y. Check the class of Y. Yes, it is integer value. You see here the output, it is an integer value. Check the type of Y. See, it is an integer value. Check whether it is an integer value or not. Is.integer by using the function is.integer of Y. Yes, it is true. It is an integer value. So these are the integer data types. Also, one more thing, we have one more way to represent, for example, X. I am taking X. So I am giving 15L. 15L. Number followed by L. So L is representing that it is an integer data type. Check the class of X. Check the class of X. First, let's execute this. Yes, it is an integer. Check the type of X. Yes, it is an integer. And check whether it is an integer value or not by using the is.integer function. Yes, it is true. So these are the two ways to create an integer variable. And the next one, the logical data types. So the logical data types, either it takes two values, either it takes true or false. Normally, so these logical values has to be created via a comparison between variables. So when you want to compare two variables, then these values has to be created. So Boolean values which have two possible values, so which are represented as false or true. So you have to represent with the capital letters. So these are the logical data types, has to be represented with the Boolean values. And the next one is the complex data type. So same like Python programming, so this R programming also supports the complex data type. So complex data type, there are set of the complex numbers. So complex number is having two parts, one is the real part and another one is imaginary part. So for example, x is equals to 4 plus 3i. 4 is a real part and 3 is an imaginary part. So let me create, for example, x, I am creating x 4 plus 3i. It is a complex number. Let's execute this complex number. One thing. Yes, it is a complex number. Let's check the class of x. Class of x. You see it is a complex. Even you check type of x. Yes, it is a complex data type. So this is a way you have to create the complex data type. And the very important one, the character data type. So R also supports the character data type, and these could be represented with alphabets or special characters. Either single alphabets or more than one alphabet has to be created as a character data type, and these could be denoted with either single quote or double quote. So normally, so strings in R can contain alphabets, numbers and symbols, and it stores either character values or string values in a character data type. Character means it is a single character. String means it is a more than one character. So let me create the character data type. For example, x, the variable I am taking x. So I am representing with the single quote. X value is apple. So let's check the class of x and also check the type of x. Class of x is character and the type of x also it is a character. So you can denote the characters either with single quotes or double quotes, and here the characters and strings both are same here. The last one is the raw data type. So normally, so these raw data type will be used when you want to do the low level operations on binary data. So we have to use this raw data type. So to create a raw data type, we have to use the function that is as.raw. So let me create a raw data type. Suppose x, variable x. I am using as.raw function. So here low level values that I am doing, creating 0x1. This is a byte level value. So let's execute this. See here, we are getting the output as 1. So let's check the type of x again. So what type of data it is? It is a raw type of data. Also you can check the class of x. It is a raw type of data. So this is the way that we have to create the raw data types. And one more important point is normally in other programming languages we have the typecasting. So here we call it as coerce or convert the data types. Means we can convert one type of data into another type of data. So what is the syntax is as dot data type that you have to use and the object value that you have to give. Object value means either it is an integer value or boolean value or numerical value or complex value that you have to give. For example, let's see, for example, so print as dot numeric. As dot numeric. Suppose I am giving a boolean value here. So let's see what is the output that we will get 1. Suppose means the boolean value or logical value is converting as a numerical value. Print as dot logical. As dot logical. But what I am doing is I am giving an integer value here 15L. Suppose I am giving an integer value and it is converting as a logical value, that is true or false. Suppose print as dot complex. Suppose here also what I do is I will give a numerical value. For example, I am giving the numerical value. So this numerical value has to be converted to a complex value, 15 plus 0. So this is the way you can convert one type of object into another type of object by using the as.datatype function. Suppose you want to convert a complex number into a numeric number, then you have to use as.complex or as.numeric and so on. So these are the different data types that have to be supported in R programming. I hope it is clear. Thank you everyone.